Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Skincare Nerds. Today we're taking it back to basics again and we're going to be talking about how to layer your skincare. So if you're not sure what goes first, your serums or your moisturizer, keep watching because I'm going to talk you through exactly where to put everything in your routine. Now the general rule for skincare layering is to apply your products thinnest to thickest in terms of consistency. So if we're looking at a whole routine, you'll start by applying your most watery products, which will be your mists, essences or toners if you choose to use them, followed by your serums, which can then vary in texture. If a serum is creamier or oilier in texture, for example, something like the ASAP DNA Renewal Treatment, which is still a serum, but it's kind of creamy, so is the Skin Virtue Line Filler. I would be applying those after my water-based serums because they're heavier. So it's just kind of working out the science of what's lighter and what's heavier. So put your water-based serums down first and then put anything heavier over the top. Then you'll want to follow with creamy products like your moisturizers or leave-on masks. I personally love to use the Aspect Probiotic Mask as a beautiful, rich leave-on night cream. And then you'll go in with your oils. There's a little bit of debate around where oils sit in your routine. Most people are now saying they sit last, so after cream products, but there are still brands that are advising on their usage directions to use an oil before a cream. So my trick is to add a couple of drops of your facial oil into your moisturizer, and then either way, you've got the oil covered. But I do recommend if you're using a product to check the usage directions because that's the best thing to follow. So an important component of understanding skincare layering is also having an understanding of your skin concerns. I like to recommend if you're layering multiple water-based serums, layer them by concern. So for example, if your main concern is congestion and you're using a salicylic acid serum and a hyaluronic acid serum and they're exactly the same texture, I would be applying the salicylic acid serum first because that's targeting your main concern, which is the congestion. That's where it comes in handy to have a basic understanding of the functions of different ingredients so that you can tailor your skincare routine to your needs. And if you know absolutely nothing about ingredients, that's exactly what this YouTube playlist is for. So go and check out the rest of Skincare Nerds or head over to our podcast, Beauty IQ Uncensored, where we talk about ingredients, we talk about treatments. You'll pretty much learn everything you need to know about skincare. Now to AM versus PM routines. I get asked this all the time. Where am I meant to use everything? Like, where does my glycolic acid go? Where does my vitamin C go? So that's what we're going to cover now. So I would advise always put your resurfacing acids like AHAs, BHAs, and retinoids in your nighttime routine. I suggest alternating them on different nights. So you don't want to use your retinoids on the same nights as your AHAs and BHAs because they can be sensitizing when they're used together. If your skin tolerates it well and you've been doing this for ages, continue. But if you find that you're getting sensitive from using retinoids and AHAs, BHAs on the same night, definitely split them up and use them on alternate nights. We recommend using vitamin C during the day, mainly because it has really good antioxidant properties, but also because it doesn't really like playing with the other acids, so keeping it in your daytime routine is probably the safest bet. Then ingredients like hyaluronic acid and niacinamide, those are your versatile ones. They can be used AM and PM. I was like, who the f is that? Out of my peripheral vision. So pretty much the things that you want to avoid mixing together are your retinoids and your AHAs and BHAs. Just try and alternate them on different nights. And you want to avoid using your vitamin C with any of those acids as well. But again, the label on your products should indicate how and when to use it. Here's an example routine to demonstrate how I would layer my skincare. So I'll start by spritzing my face with Avène Thermal Spring Water because it has the thinnest consistency. I'll then apply SkinCeuticals Retexturing Activator because A, it's very watery in consistency, and B, because I'm trying to target texture as my primary concern. Then I'm going to follow with the SkinCeuticals HA Intensifier because it's more gel-like than the Retexturing Activator, so it's thicker in consistency. I'm going to mix a drop of Murad Multivitamin Oil in with my Aspect Phytostat 9 and I'm done. So if that didn't make sense, let me try and summarize that again. I don't know if this is going to be any simpler, but you want to layer thinnest to thickest or lightest to heaviest in consistency. So the watery stuff goes first, and then the creamy stuff goes last, and then the oily stuff. And when it comes to working out what goes first, remember, layer by concern. So if your main concern is congestion, prioritize those products. I don't know if that's helpful at all. So I hope that answers all your questions around skincare layering. I know you're probably going to have some questions though, so leave them in the comments box below, hit the bell button and subscribe so you don't miss a video from us. As I mentioned in this video, understanding your concerns is really important, but it's also really important to understand your skin type. Amy's done a video all about skin types and we're very excited to announce the launch of Skincare School, our new podcast. So head over and watch that video and I'll see you next time.